Now, I know you're not a fan of this match.
Boy,
Triple H and Booker T. First of all, why is Triple H wearing white boots?
in purple, like, what the hell was that about?
Purple.
And I understood. Okay, I'm sorry.
Royalty?
Yeah, because you saw it was almost like a throwback to the way he used to be. You know, he had the clean face. He was hanging around with, Mr. Learjet flying Ric Flair.
Yeah, and you remember his whole Booker T came from the streets and he was
that grit. It was almost like a throwback to the Greenwich Schnopp, like
Yeah.
Now, it was good for him. I just didn't like it as a fan because I never liked naked face Triple H.
Okay.
I don't know why. It just like I don't have a problem with it. I don't think it was bad. It was stupid or anything. I just didn't like it because I was like, I hated Triple H. He did his job. He was the heel.
Yeah.
Now I wasn't that much bigger of a fan of Booker T at the time to actually care about the match, but I remember the story. I remember like even I don't know why, but like WWE he used to come on MTV at the time for something. I'm not sure if it was. It wasn't for it wasn't for Velocity.
He had a run on MTV.
It wasn't because of Heat, but like it was. I think it was around the time when Tough Enough was coming on MTV, so they gave it like a they gave it like a WrestleMania special for some reason.
Mania.
Yeah,
the Mania of WrestleMania.
Yeah, and they was at WWF New York at the restaurant at the time where they did the finale for Tough Enough, and they were doing like the interviews and stuff like that. And I remember they were asking people when they were asked like, "Sure, well, you a racist?" And he was like, "How am I racist? I think I've already said that Booker T is one of the greatest athletes. He's just not better than me." I remember saying all that, but like I said, I hated that gimmick because it's only because he did it so well.
Yeah, and
like,
go ahead.
No, it's just like, but it's like I said before, it's because of Booker T. I didn't at the time his dreads wasn't long enough for me to care about him. He looked like the worms in his head, so I was like,
well, and then the thing is with this match, I had that gut feeling that just maybe Booker T would win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
I knew that was definitely not happening.
And this will be debated out there. Pretty sure people will start commenting when they see this that Booker was, supposed to win the title. I personally would have been happy. Booker would have won the title and then lost it the next week or whatever, because he was still involved. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was him teaming up with somebody to go against Triple H and somebody the next pick that was that Backlash.
Mm-hmm.
Because you also had emergence of another young guy at the beginning of this show. The way it started off on Heat, had a battle rap against Jay-Z and Fabulous, who would later become the cornerstone of WrestleMania. Yeah, John Cena.
Wow.
A guy who's who will be bigger than Hogan in about 10 years.
You heard what he said, right?
Yeah.
He said it again. He does not care what you people think. Wow.
But nonetheless, Booker T loses. The match itself, it was okay. It wasn't Triple H worst, wasn't Triple H best. Same goes for Booker T. Then we have a match that I could not wait to see. Some people like it, some people don't. But you had to understand the story, and like I will say time and time again.
And again.
If there's a forgiving person in a wrestling business, there's no more forgiving person than Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
That's Vince McMahon for people who don't know his middle name.
This guy went up against the man who tried to put him out of business.
Not to mention, put him in jail.
Yeah. His biggest star at one point, Hulk Hogan. And not only did they fight in a street fight, but both men bled. And that one image where Vince McMahon is wearing a crimson mask and he's standing up against, he's outside the ropes, he goes,
that is the exact laugh that he made. That's amazing.
It's one of my favorite WrestleManias.
Obviously.
Yeah, and nonetheless, who goes over? Hogan.
Oh, yeah, way to go, Terry.
Well, Vince realized...
Terry's business.
Vince has really wrestled 3 of his biggest stars at WrestleMania.
He does not mind taking a beating.
Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart.
That is true.
At WrestleMania.
That is true.
You think maybe we'll get an Austin vs. McMahon at WrestleMania?
I think we've seen enough Austin McMahon, but I don't think you need a WrestleMania match. I mean, there's a whole... Don't they got a DVD coming out?
I think so. It'd be nice.
They should have a Robberies DVD coming out.
But nonetheless, Hogan wins. You have Piper come out. And then Hogan, I think his career's on the line. Yeah, I believe his career is on the line. He wins, then goes ahead and gets fired or gets suspended or something, inactive, and he comes back as Mr. America. I'm not concerned about Mr. America coming. I like how they introduced us to Mr. America.
I thought that was hilarious because they really had these moments that you swear, I'm not Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, not that part, but I'm talking about with Stephanie.
You always got to bring it back to her, don't you?
Wouldn't you?
Actually,
I'd rather her bring it back.
Well, okay, alrighty.
I'm just saying,
naturally.
Yeah, that's what she did. She said, "I got your attention." Nonetheless,
she had my attention.
Yeah. The Rock is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Now, you said before,
I did.
Enjoyed the match, enjoyed the story, which, obviously Austin couldn't go like he could in the previous two matches.
Naturally.
But this was definitely, I don't want to say passing the torch, but this was Austin showing The Rock that, hey, we're not Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart of years ago. I don't have a problem putting you over.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it goes back to respect level.
Exactly.
That's one thing that you've never heard anything about Stone Cold, that he's never been disrespectful. Mm-hmm. He's always pay respect to where respect is due, and he's wanted the same in return. And naturally, when you don't, there's an issue, which is Bret Hart's argument a lot of times, or has been in the past. But
and then going into this match, you also have Austin. You have obviously Austin. He even has ONR on his the best. Yeah. One more run, one last run, something, whatever. Right. One more run, something. Yeah. But you have The Rock come out there, and he's in perfect heel fashion.
Right.
I mean he's annoying the crowd, getting under everybody's skin, and then the next month he fights Goldberg. But he's in tip top heel fashion. Love it. I always loved The Rock as a heel. Like him either or, but but nonetheless, Rock wins, and then we look at the main event. Now, all of these matches, Rock, Austin, Triple H, Hogan, Shawn Michaels, but you throw two people not even in the company anymore. But this is going to show you, hey, we're going to make sure, this is where they make sure they have the WWE Championship last, because you think about the DVD is headlined with with Hogan and McMahon on the cover. But you also have the year before The Rock and Hogan, but championship match must go last.
Right.
This one, you can make an argument, and this is why I say it's a 5 main events, because any one of these could be in that slot. Naturally, Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho would be the one that you wouldn't put there.
That's the wild card.
Yeah, but at the same time, if it's one of the things is, if you're going to get the crowd reaction and the same response, you would put it there.
Right.
But Lesnar and Angle, what a match.
I love this match.
And for Kurt Angle to go out there with his neck was completely out of whack. Right. When you said talking about the documentary, I sit back and look at this match like, wow, it goes to show you how much you need to respect this business. And people call it fake, which really gets under my skin, because it's not fake, it's predetermined. The outcome is predetermined, but the hits are real and the falls are real. But Angle and Lesnar, what a match they put on. And for some people who might have said they didn't deserve this slot, I think once they went out there, they said, look, this is why this is the main event. You have your two shown up wrestlers.
Right, yeah.
At WrestleMania.
2 All-American.
Headline.
Oh, yeah. I love this match. I think I loved all their, I love their beef, their story. They tried to replicate this, overseas and stuff like that. Before Brock Lesnar went into mixed martial arts heavy. But, this match, I saw this as another passing of the torch. This was supposed to be the new Rock and Stone Cold, because these guys were given the WWE on a silver platter. Yeah. Like, these guys were going to be it. These guys were going to carry. And I think they dropped the ball as far as that generation of wrestling, and they got lost for a little bit. The generation we're seeing, and those guys were young guys. They were coming up. I think a lot of guys who got pushed during this era didn't deserve to be pushed.
Yeah.
As you saw guys like, you know, Austin bowing out and then Goldberg coming in, you know, all the stuff that was going on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely enjoyed this match, though. I enjoyed it. Like I said, you know, we all remember the many spots from that match.
Oh,
yes. You know, two guys going out there giving it their all, but like I said, two guys who end up being so dedicated to the business that they became really banged up.
Mm-hmm.
And no longer with the company. So
Lesnar goes out there and goes to that shooting star press, where behind the scenes he hits that all day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you know, it's one of the things. You know, they say don't try this at home. Obviously, we're all guilty of it. But
that is true.
He goes out there and, you know, just one. Thank God, you know, he just had a mini concussion.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, if he hits that, that's in every WrestleMania video from here on out. And that's what Vince McMahon was saying. You know, go out there and save that for WrestleMania.
That's the one thing you want to embed in everybody's mind and have your moment of history. That's how you live forever in WrestleMania. That's how you become immortal. You do that one thing in WrestleMania that sort of solidifies you as that guy. Like I said, you know, this is a leap over the rope. Every year you're good for it.
Yeah.
Almost killed himself second time with Shawn Michaels, but you know.
Now let me ask you this: Lesnar comes back, wrestler at WrestleMania. Does he go for that again?
No. No, he's a little older.
Because I mean, WrestleMania 20, obviously he was taking his time because he knew. Him and Goldberg both, they knew they was on their way out. They was like, you know, and they really
same for me. Did a good paycheck.
Yeah, they did the fans a complete injustice. That's why I don't see why all you wrestling fans who love Goldberg so much scream and cry for him. Did you see what he did to y'all?
Goldberg doesn't care about the business. He never did. Goldberg. It's not like Goldberg was broke before he came. He had a pretty successful football career playing for the Atlanta Falcons and
like
so
you
forth.
said, and they handed him the business on a silver platter.
Everybody will say that. Even everybody will say, yeah, he wasn't the most mature guy. They put him at the top, and then he became a baby and didn't want to leave the top.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's just like, you know, you know.
So, this is my number 3 WrestleMania. Like I said, I look at it and I can really sit there and watch this all the way through. I mean, maybe the exception of the Undertaker.
I say maybe the last half of the card, maybe, but
I mean, you know, who wouldn't want
from Team Angle on up. 1, 2, 3, I can do without.
Trish Stratus. She wins the belt, you know.
Okay.
Second favorite diva.
Okay. I'll let him have this one. You got it.
All right. Oh, and you know what? And Matt Hardy and Rey Mysterio wasn't a bad match. It's just that cruiserweights just don't really have a place in the WWE.
It didn't catch on the way it did in WCW.
Right.
Like they had really good moments, but it's like they were never all together. Like you would have one hot cruiserweight, and then everybody else would be sort of like just random guys that were underweight, but really didn't wrestle the cruiserweight style. They were just little guys. Right. Versus like a WCW, you had guys that the Lucha Libre style and the Japanese style was fluent throughout WCW. It's not like, okay, we're just for the smaller guys. Like,
exactly.
Say they brought back the Cruiserweight Championship now and just let guys like Tyson Kidd and Yoshitatsu go at it. Those guys necessarily aren't cruiserweights, they just happen to be not heavyweights. You know what I mean? They're not, maybe Yoshitatsu to a degree.
You know, they saying they probably get a channel on the WWE Network.
They should.
Cruiserweight station.
I mean, they should. At least it gives them something to do. They can work. They can showcase what they do. And like I said, it fills the time slot. Yeah. You know what I mean? But and it's their own networks. They don't have to answer nobody but themselves. So if it fails, they can just scrap it. Versus reporting to a network and saying, "Well, your ratings are bad. Now you got to do something to bring some butt naked divas over here and do some sort of stunt to get people watching." You know what I mean?
TV.
Naturally.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on another edition of the Wrestling Wrealm as we go over the top 5 WrestleManias. We are halfway home.
Yeah, we almost there, folks. Stick with us.
Yep. So, I am Mr. Main Event Brian Waters. He is the remarkable, the impeccable, the real Dwayne Allen.
That's what they call him.
That's Main Event.
All the way to the bank.
So long, everybody.